What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another video here. Flyers lose 4-3 in overtime to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The four-game winning streak comes to an end with a loss here. The point streak is still alive, a 5-game point streak. 9 out of the possible 10 out of these last 5 games. It's pretty good coming out of the break. Right now they are tied with the Carolina Hurricanes for second place in the Metropolitan Division. Now going into Saturday, New Jersey, the Devils are right there with the Flyers. They have 58 points. They lost tonight in regulation as well. So both of these teams are going into this, the Flyers having a 7-point advantage with 2 games in hand. For the Devils have 2 games in hand on the Flyers there, but 53-55. But the Flyers have a 7-point advantage, and both teams are going into this game Saturday with a loss. We'll see what happens. It should be fun. But let's talk about tonight's game first. This is another one of the 11-7 games, so the lines are in a blender. I'll read them. They weren't really the lines, though. Tippett, Couturier, Konechny, Farabee, Frost, Atkinson, Cates, Paling, Hathaway, Delorier, and Lawton. York, Sanheim, Stahl, Drysdale, Sealer, Walker, and then Zamula. Pretty much most of it stayed the same. Like Tippett with Couturier and Konechny, that was the same for most of the night. Same with Farabee, Frost, and Atkinson. I know Cates did go up at one point. I believe Paling dropped down at one point, and so did Lawton, kind of moved up. I mean, that stuff kind of changed all night. But again, Sam Merson and net. First period, very good. Second period, not good. Third period, good. Overtime, not good. That was how this one went for the Flyers. Really good first period. I mean, they dominated the neutral zone. The Leafs could not do a damn thing in the neutral zone. They really closed it down. They generated a ton of chances off the rush, and obviously the Flyers have done that all year. It was really good to see. I was glad that they were at least able to get the lead. Another shorthanded goal. Sanheim with the 13th shorthanded goal of the season. Konechny had a breakaway. Before that hit the post. Lawton with a beautiful pass. Sanheim beautiful deke in tight. And a really nice move. The Flyers led 1-0. The Flyers had a couple chances before. Walker had a shot, and then Paling had a chance in tight. Konechny hit a flip pass to Tippett, and then they get the goal. They had a long shift in the offensive zone. Again, dominant in the neutral zone. I really liked the first period. I think the biggest thing that stood out to me was just them being able to create plays through that, and they really just shut down what the Leafs were coming at them, because they had a chance early, Toronto, from Nyes in right off the opening shift, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. That's what the second period was. They had some 4-on-4. They had a chance from Tippett right in tight. He flubbed the puck, and then Domi kind of almost made a play in tight after that. A trip for the Leafs. Flyers get a power play. They moved it really well. Frost, I really liked Frost tonight. I thought he had a good game. There were some times where he did have some turnovers in some bad areas, but I thought overall it was a good game. Not necessarily the best play on the overtime goal either, because that was a total breakdown because Lawton came off. And I'll explain it in a second, but Matthews scores 1-1. Matthews scores again, 2-1. Matthews scores again, 3-1. So a natural hat trick there for Austin Matthews. Certainly not the best way to defend a guy like that. When you're giving a guy like Matthews a ton of chances and a ton of opportunities, he's going to score his 43rd, 44th, and 45th goal straight against you like that. And the first one was just a snipe. It was a bad change as well. They didn't really get it deep. It was 2 goals tonight on bad changes. I mean, that's something the Flyers really don't do. I don't remember there being one of them at all, honestly, this season, to be honest with you. Off the top of my head, I'd obviously have to go back and look. But 2 goals tonight off of some pretty rough changes. The other one is a power play goal right after. It was an interference call on Tippett. That's not a good penalty to take. Then Matthews would draw that one. It was a one-timer, not much Erson can do. And then 3-1. It was a play that's probably offside. Can't really tell, though, and it ends up unfortunately going in the Flyers' net. So 3-1. They just looked really bad. In the last 10 minutes of that second period, they looked flat. The Leafs just dominated them. And it's the same thing from the Tampa, Colorado, and the Boston games, where the top-end guys are just... That's what the Flyers don't have. You know what I mean? Like, they can play with... And I don't think they're ashamed to say that, because they know it. I mean, the org knows it. The fans know it. I'm sure the guys in the room know it. They have some guys, again, like I've mentioned before, that can play, with this. Tippett, Konechny, Couturier, right? But they don't have any guys that are, in that same type of category as a Matthews or a Nylander or anything like that, or a Marner, whoever. So 3-1. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here in the third. And then York goes off the ice after a hit. Not the best thing to see. He ended up going straight off. Konechny and Giordano with a 4-on-4 no call on Tippett or Couturier. Tippett had a chance before that. Flyers do get a power play. Drysdale, I think the past couple of games has gotten called offside more than anyone, which has been really frustrating because he's had so many plays of trying to keep a puck in or just being that close to being offside. And, that one called offside, and then they get one. Hathaway scores. I said it on the pod last episode that I thought that Hathaway was going to score Saturday. He scored tonight. Maybe he'll score again Saturday. Who knows? But he ends up getting one tonight. And 3-2. Flyers get a power play. Zamula gets tripped up. 3-3. Konechny. And that's where you can count on Konechny to kind of be the guy. You know what I mean? And 3-3, they get a goal, loose change and tight, slam dunk for Konechny off a really good play. Tippett trying to drag it out of there, and I'd look like a pass over. And then, Frost had a breakdown on the Nylander goal. When you watch Matthews go back, or I'm sorry, not Matthews, the Leafs go back, and Lawton signals, like, come on, I'm coming, and Frost goes, but he goes to the puck. And then Sanheim played it like a 2-on-1, and no one picked up Nylander. And Lawton was the center. So if Lawton goes off, Frost has to come back and cover the spot. He doesn't, and Sanheim didn't read it either. Ends up going to the back of your net. I thought Urson should have had it, if I'm being honest. It was a bad change, a bad coverage, and a bad goal for Urson to give up. It was just bad all around. So they do lose this one 4-3 in overtime, but they get a point. They're tied for second, and they've proven again that they have a response and they can come back. Sometimes it's not going to go your way, because that's just hockey, right? But it's another step in the right direction for this team. And, you have 2 games left against the Leafs this year. They have a stretch of games throughout the rest of the season against Atlantic Division opponents. Boston a couple times. They have Florida at least, I think, 2 more times. So, we'll see. It should be interesting. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Make sure to check out Maher Media and all the things that we do over there. We got a lot of really good content coming in. Should be a lot of fun this weekend for the Stadium Series. I can't wait. We'll see what happens. Both these teams coming in on a loss. Flyers, they've been playing some good hockey lately. I think the Devils have been starting to wake up too. So it's setting up a really good game and obviously very important standings-wise. If the Flyers were to win that game, it'd be their 56th game of the season, 67 points. The Devils would have 54, and the Flyers would have a 9-point lead over the Devils there. So that would be sweet if they could, win that game Saturday. We shall see. Thanks everybody again for all the support. As always, my name is Chris, and I will talk to you all again soon.